The following is an orientation to the Canyons Teacher Effectiveness Support System, CTESS. CTESS has been approved and authorized by the Utah State Board of Education as a valid and reliable tool for evaluating educators in Canyon School District. CTESS is founded upon the Utah Effective Teaching Standards and the Canyon School District's multi-tiered system of support, also known as the MTSS framework. The MTSS framework aligns with all state standards. By state law, every educator must be evaluated every year using a reliable and valid evaluation instrument consistent with Utah Effective Teaching Standards. Law also states that administrators must address the needs of educators whose performance does not meet the effective or highly effective rating or expectation. Newly hired licensed employees are provisional with the district for 3 years. A district employee who accepts another position that is substantially different from the position in which career status was achieved, such as a teacher who accepts a position as a teacher specialist, is returned to provisional status in the new position for 3 years. A mentor will be assigned to all provisional educators. Provisional and probationary educators will be evaluated yearly. An instructional quality rating, IQR, will be assigned at the mid-year conference with a summative overall rating, the SOR, being assigned in the spring. Career educators will be evaluated using one of 3 years. Career 1 and Career 2 are growth years, while Career 3 is a summative year. CTESS is a comprehensive process designed to support professional growth and excellence of educators. CTESS strives to improve student outcomes by helping educators identify areas of strength and growth in the context of research-validated practices through meaningful feedback, team collaboration, professional learning, and ongoing coaching. The many purposes of CTESS include ensuring that every student receives high-quality instruction every day, developing and supporting effective and highly effective educators, developing a collaborative professional culture to facilitate student learning, recognizing and promoting the use of evidence-based instructional priorities, standards-based teaching and reporting, and professional behaviors, appraising educators according to their effectiveness, and providing a basis for decisions affecting employment. The district standards have been divided into 4 domains: planning, instructing, adjusting, and reflecting, all of which align with Canyon School District's MTSS framework. CTESS has 3 components based on state law: the instructional quality rating, making up 70% of the final rating, that includes self-assessment and goal setting, IPOPs, checklists, learning and teaching evidence, and administrator knowledge; a student growth reflection, making up 20%, and the stakeholder input reflection, making up 10%. These 3 components combine into a summative overall rating. CTESS ratings are highly effective, indicating an educator who has excelled; an effective rating, indicating an educator whose performance has met the standard; an emerging effective rating, indicating a provisional educator whose performance is minimally effective; a minimally effective rating, indicating a career educator whose performance has not met the standard for successful teaching; and a not effective rating, indicating an educator whose performance has not met the standard for successful teaching. Provisional educator requirements are summarized on the Provisional Educator Growth Cycle Sheet for Provisional 1, 2, and 3 educators. For Cycle 1 of the first provisional year, educators will attend the Canyons Teacher Support Academy in the fall to learn about CTESS requirements. Formal IPOPs will also be completed prior to November 30th to provide the new teachers with timely feedback on their practice. Completion of the Academy will prepare the provisional teachers to complete all the CTESS requirements for Year 1 by March 30th. The provisional educator will then proceed with the growth cycle as outlined. If a provisional educator's instructional quality rating, IQR, or summative overall rating, SOR, is not effective, the educator will receive Tier 2 supports, a memo of concern with identified assistance, and will be notified that employment with the district is in question. If the provisional educator's IQR or SOR is minimally effective, effective, or highly effective, the provisional educator advances to the next CTESS cycle. Once a provisional educator has successfully completed Provisional 3 requirements, the educator may attain career status and advance to Career 1 of the Career Educator Growth Cycle. The Career Educator's Growth Cycle sheet summarizes the requirements for Career 1, 2, and 3 educators. Please note, the summative overall rating received during Provisional 3 or Career 3 of the Growth Cycle will be retained during Career 1 and Career 2. Career 1 and Career 2 are growth years which require the self-assessment and goal setting, 2 observations, and a response to student growth. If the career educator's instructional quality rating or summative overall rating is minimally effective or not effective, the educator will receive Tier 2 supports, a plan of assistance, which may not exceed 120 school days, and notification that employment with the district is in question. It is the educator's responsibility to improve their performance to satisfactory levels. Career 3 is then repeated. If the career educator's second IQR is effective or highly effective, the educator is then advanced to Career 1. If after the second cycle, the educator's rating is still minimally effective or not effective, the educator then continues the plan of assistance and is placed on probation. Please note, career educators who have been placed on probation for unsatisfactory performance and are again unsatisfactory within a 3-year period are subject to non-renewal or employment termination pursuant to state law and district policy. If the educator's rating after the third round is still minimally effective or not effective, the educator's employment with the district is terminated. Here is a review of the process for CTESS and what is required for each component. The instructional quality component of CTESS consists of several requirements. First is self-assessment and goal setting, also known as the Professional Growth Plan, which correlates with student growth. Each educator must complete a self-assessment and professional growth plan and set goals. The supervisor reviews the self-assessment and professional growth plan and may communicate with each educator about the growth plan in a conference or email. The observation and checklist portions of the instructional quality rating, or IQR, include IPOPs and the meeting participation and ethical conduct checklists, as well as administrator knowledge. IPOPs and checklists can begin 15 calendar days after orientation. Remember, IPOPs are a minimum of 20 minutes. Electronic feedback will be available by midnight on the day following the observation. If not, the observation is void. Only formal IPOPs count toward evaluations. Coaches can and will only do informal IPOPs. For checklists, these observations can occur during faculty meetings, IPLCs, as well as other meetings. The Learning and Teaching Evidence section of the Instructional Quality Rating includes various lines of evidence that show quality instruction. These lines of evidence include IPLC notes, student work samples, and professional development. Optional evidence can be lesson planning and rubrics. Career 3 educators and all provisional educators will receive an instructional quality rating based on classroom observations, checklists, learning and teaching evidence, and administrator knowledge. 2 formal IPOPs must be completed on Provisional 1 educators by November 30th. The instructional quality rating for provisional educators in years 2 and 3 is due by January 30th. The IQRs for Provisional 1 and Career 3 educators is due by March 30th. The instructional quality rating is then calculated based upon the effectiveness rating for each standard using the rating decision rubric. The student growth component of CTESS consists of a reflection on student growth. For the student growth reflection, all subjects and all grades may be considered. This reflection may become part of the self-assessment and goal setting for the next year. The stakeholder input component of CTESS consists of a reflection based on stakeholder feedback. Student surveys will be conducted in October and parent surveys in November. Educators will reflect on and respond to the stakeholder input. Responses will receive an effectiveness rating. The information from the instructional quality rating, stakeholder input, and student growth are then used to determine a summative overall rating, or SOR. At the end of year conference, educators will meet with their administrator to review the professional growth plan and determine goal attainment. They can also discuss next steps or pre-plan the next year's growth plan. The SOR will be discussed based on the IQR, student growth, and stakeholder input ratings. The administrator must then submit the SOR to Human Resources by May 30th. Following the end-of-year conference, a copy of the SOR will be placed in the teacher's personnel file. If desired, the teacher may submit a written response within 15 days of receiving their instructional quality rating, student growth rating, stakeholder input rating, or summative overall rating and have that response attached to the evaluation. Teachers also have 15 days after receiving the summative overall rating to request a review of the evaluation process. There is a unique version of CTESS for each specialized educator subgroup. Building administrators will orient educators in these subgroups. These systems include instructional or performance quality, student growth, and stakeholder input. The complete CTESS manual, which contains all benchmark criteria, can be found by logging into the CTESS dashboard, as well as going to canyonsdistrict.org, clicking on Resources, then Employees, then CTESS Manual. If you have any questions regarding this presentation, please contact your supervisor or Sandra Dahl-Houlihan.